Hello. So in my attempt to learn more about different cultures, one of the things I decided to look into was the Church of Scientology. In 1950, Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, published his best-selling book, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health. Though he originally conceived of Dianetics as a science of the mind, Hubbard later adopted his theories into a more religious approach, calling it the Church of Scientology. Founded in 1954, the Hubbard's teachings, and now led by David Miscavige, Scientology has spread from its origins in Southern California throughout the United States and the world, generating a lot of debate along the way. So L. Ron Hubbard in Dianetics, I think is how you pronounce that. Born in 1911 in Talladega, Nebraska, Lafayette Ron Hubbard left George Washington University, where he was studying civil engineering after 2 years. He later launched a successful career writing stories for Pulp magazine in the 1930s, ultimately focusing on science fiction. During World War II, Hubbard served in the U.S. Naval Reserves, and he later claimed to have healed himself of several serious war-related ailments, using the techniques he explained in the 1950 book, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health. As laid out in the book, each human individual has an analytic mind, which, like Freud's concept of the conscious mind, is normally in charge of making the daily decisions and judgments necessary for survival. In times of stress, pain, or other trauma, however, it is the reactive mind that takes over. According to Hubbard's mental science, the lasting scars from those negative experiences on the reactive mind are also known as engrams. To get rid of these engrams, Hubbard prescribed a few new type of therapeutic processing called auditing. In one-on-one meetings with a counselor, or auditor, an individual would answer a series of questions designed to purge these unconscious memories and allow the analytic mind to regain control. So, what is Scientology? Post-World War II audience proved receptive to Hubbard's claims of the healing powers of the mind, and the book quickly became a bestseller. Groups spread across the country and abroad, even as the American Psychological Association and other organizations questioned Hubbard's claims regarding the scientific nature of his approach. In 1952, Hubbard introduced a new aspect of the auditing process, a device he called the electropsychometer, or E-meter, which measures the strength of a small electrical current that runs through the body as an individual answers the auditor's questions. The introduction of the E-meter helped mark Hubbard's transition from Dianetics to Scientology, a term he said derived from the Latin scio, which means to study, and the Greek logos, knowing. This new science of knowledge employed the principles of Dianetics in a different framework. Rather than an approach of mental health, Hubbard's ideas would now become the basis for a new religious movement. On February 18, 1954, incorporation papers were filed in Los Angeles for the Church of Scientology of California, the first official Scientologist organization. So, Scientology beliefs going clear and beyond. The shift from Dianetics to Scientology included a focus on humans as immortal souls that are trapped within multiple bodies throughout various lifetimes. After purging the reactive mind of past trauma scars through the auditing process, an individual can become clear, a concept from Dianetics that represents a major goal of Scientology. Those who go clear are believed to reach a higher level of ethical and moral standards, greater creativity and control over their environment, even less susceptibility to disease. Individual Scientology churches and missions, known as orgs, began using Scientology materials to teach the faith's basic tenets and conduct auditing procedures in order to help members reach the clear state. Each local org was set up to process clients, including discussing their needs, recommending a product, usually a package of auditing sessions known as intensive, to fit those needs, and accepting payments for the product. After reaching clear, members could go onto a moral advanced level of the church and become operating theans or simply OTs. So David Miscave and the death of L. Ron Hubbard. Oh look, there we go. Since its origin, Scientology. I think something went wrong here. Oh, my computer's thinking. Okay, sorry about that. My computer froze for some reason for a moment. David Miscave and the death of L. Ron Hubbard. Since its origin, Scientology has faced opposition and controversy, including long-running complaints from the medical and scientific communities over Hubbard's claims regarding mental health and the science behind the e-meters, as well as complaints over its status as a religion. As it grew, Scientology became involved in multiple legal battles, including lawsuits filed by former members claiming serious mistreatment by the church. Though Hubbard himself headed the church and Scientology in its early years, in 1966 he resigned all offices and focuses on developing post-clear operating thetan levels. He spent most of his time during this period abroad, a fleet of sea-going vessels staffed with young, particularly devout Scientologist volunteers. The Sea Organization, or Sea Org, as they called themselves, became the elite of the Scientologist movement, the church's equivalent of the religious order. Amid increasing scrutiny of the movement he founded, Hubbard disappeared from public view in 1980. After his death in 1986 at the age of 74, the Sea Org member and Hubbard protege David Miscave took over leadership of the church. Hollywood and headquarters in Clearwater, Florida. Scientologists opened its first celebrity center in Hollywood in the late 1960s, followed by satellites in New York, Las Vegas, and Nashville, and international outposts in cities like Paris, London, Vienna, Düsseldorf, and Florence. Among Scientologists' most visible adherents over the years have been Hollywood stars like Tom Cruise, Kirstie Alley, John Travolta, and Isaac Hayes. Despite its strong connection with California, and particularly Hollywood, the church's spiritual headquarters are located in Clearwater, Florida. Since the mid-1970s, the flag service organization there has been the destination for those seeking instruction from the highest levels of Scientology. So, Scientology Today. The United States, home of the majority of Scientologists, has recognized Scientology as a religion, with the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, reaffirming the church's tax-exempt status in 1993 after a long-running investigation. In 2013, Britain's highest court similarly affirmed Scientology's status as a religion by ruling that the group could conduct weddings at its church in London. Other countries have refused to legitimize the faith. Germany has barred Scientologists from holding public office, while in 2009 a French court found the church guilty of fraud, but stopped short of banning it altogether. According to the official Church of Scientology website, there are now more than 11,000 churches, mission groups, in 184 nations, and the movement welcomes more than 4.4 million new people each year. But scholars and outside observers of the movement say the numbers of practicing Scientologists may be lower than the church claims, possibly numbering in the hundreds of thousands worldwide. So that's it. I just wanted to look at this one since I was talking about religions. I'm trying to focus on more recent religions we still see today. But anyway, thanks for watching.